Hi, my name is Katie Nicholas, and today I will be taking a look into the dangers of the internet and how Slenderman is an example of that. The internet, while offering great benefits like endless amounts of information and finding a sense of community, poses serious risks for adolescents. The Slenderman myth is one of the many troubling examples of these risks, leading to real world violence and mental health issues among young people. In this presentation, I will explore how Slenderman exemplifies the dangers the internet presents for adolescents by analyzing Clarice Lowry's critical essay, Slenderman, A Myth of the Digital Age, along with other scholarly articles and real world examples of the effects resulting from internet dangers to illustrate the need for better online safety measures for children. The primary text that I will be using is Slenderman, A Myth of the Digital Age by Clarice Lowry, and she is a culture writer for The Independent, which is a UK online newspaper. On top of that, she has a YouTube channel called That Darn Movie Show, where she reviews movies on a weekly basis. In the essay, she discusses how the internet forms a new way of myth creation, allowing for people all over the world to hear about them. And she examines how the Slenderman myth is proof that the internet is both wondrous and dangerous. Slenderman was created in 2009 by Eric Knudsen, who went by the screen name Victor Surge, for a Photoshop challenge on the comedy website Something Awful. He is described as a tall, skinny, and faceless creature who wears a suit, and in certain versions he has tentacles. He's known to lure kids and teens into the woods to kill them. Before we get into the dangers of the internet, I just wanted to take a moment to look into the brief history of it. It started out as the ARPANET, which is the Advanced Research Project Agency Network, and it was created by Chief Scientist Lawrence Roberts and scientist Leonard Kleinrock. It was originally just used by the military and 30 education institutes. Later on, computer scientists Bob Kahn and Vint Cerf invented a protocol to allow computers to speak the same language, which allowed for global connection. After that, email was invented as a form of communication. The internet that we recognize came about in the late 80s, early 90s, and home computers became common in the 90s, but the internet and World Wide Web were pretty limited. The first smartphone was invented in 1992, but the first smartphone with internet access was in 2001. And from there, many features were added to give us the phones that we know today. So, because of the access to the internet that we have from smartphones and tablets, adolescents can easily access inappropriate material from them. Access to such material can desensitize them and reinforce harmful stereotypes of gender and or race. On top of that, social media spreads misinformation like wildfire, and kids don't know how to tell what's true or not. Along with the inappropriate inappropriate material that they have access to, they can also get involved in harmful online communities like extremist groups and gaming communities. But on top of that, because of social media, they can see social media influencers, which make them feel like they aren't good enough. A couple of other dangers of the internet include cyberbullying and online predators. And when kids fall victim to either one of these, they are more likely to hide what's happening online from their parents. When they're cyberbullied, they feel isolated and like they can't talk to anybody, even their parents. With predators, they tell these kids to keep their relationship a secret and start to isolate them from friends and family. Due to the exposure of the aforementioned dangers, mental health problems can arise. These can be lifelong problems and can be extremely severe, and kids can suffer outwardly and even cause harm to others. Examples of this, a few examples of this is in 2014 alone, 3 different cases of violence occurred where the Slender Man myth was involved. The most famous one is the one that happened in Wisconsin, where two girls lured their classmate out to the woods and stabbed her 19 times. When they were eventually caught, they told authorities that they were doing it to try to appease Slender Man. The other lesser known ones were in Ohio, a girl attacked her mom with a knife, and in Florida, a girl set her house on fire with her mother and 9-year-old brother still inside. In all three cases, all of the girls were obsessed with Slender Man. Even with all of the dangers posed from the internet, some believe that high restrictions won't help and that they should be able to learn for themselves. However, even if complete restrictions don't solve the problem, neither will loose rules. Children need to be taught how to safely use the internet, but also have restrictions in place. While completely restricting adolescent internet usage isn't going to help the problem, neither is allowing them to learn for themselves. Children need guidance to keep them away from inappropriate websites, hateful groups, and online predators because they don't outright know to stay away from these places and will end up in a bad situation. All in all, the internet is dangerous, and in order to help minimize the likelihood of children getting into dangerous situations, we should teach them digital literacy and set a time limit for how long they're allowed on the internet in one sitting. All in all, the internet is dangerous, but in order to help minimize the likelihood of children getting into dangerous situations, we should teach them digital literacy, like teaching them to avoid scammers, asking for personal information, or online predators, as well as websites that are for adults only, and how to tell if something they're reading online is real or not. There should be a set time limit for how long they're allowed on the internet in one sitting to help avoid things like internet addiction. Thank you for watching, and here are my sources.